But let's go back to the points that Harsha and Zaheer made about the traffic jams at the top and the bottom for Team India. The one difference is, despite the fact that Colombo is a city known for its traffic jams, their cricketers are not creating traffic jams in their own lineup. There's not a push for places. If anything, there's a bit of a drought, Harsha. If you compare the numbers for how many T20 internationals for Sri Lanka versus India, the gulf is huge.
And that makes India favourites. I mean, India should look at that ODI result as an aberration, saying, "Oh, hang on. Even though we made 6 changes, we still had the experience to have won that game. So they have to go into this game as favourites simply because they've played so much more T20 cricket. I mean, you look, if you want to define high pressure one-day cricket as playing T20 internationals, as playing IPL, PSL, playing the big leagues, the Big Bash, whatever, Sri Lanka hardly play. I mean, the best their players play, as we've seen, is in the Bangladesh Premier League. But one thing they will have is no reputation to defend. In T20, if you go out with a reputation to defend and say, you know what, I am so-and-so and I can't get out and I've got to play this way, then you're in trouble already. So if Sri Lanka have nothing to lose, they might just come out firing on all cylinders, and you need to play well for 10, 12 overs to win a game, really. So, I mean, we'll wait and see. On pedigree alone, there should not be a contest, but then Sri Lanka is probably a better T20 side than an ODI side, like most teams these days.
Vast gap, Zaheer. The numbers that we're talking about are so big. 49, the average T20 experience for Sri Lanka versus 120 for India. Now, those are huge numbers. Only 2 with over 100 T20s for Sri Lanka, and India have 11, Zaheer.
They would want to change that for sure, and change it fast. I mean, in today's cricket, if you see with the emergence of so many leagues, if you are a good cricketer, you will be playing matches. It's as simple as that. You look at Afghanistan, the kind of spin talent which you have. They are playing leagues all over the world. So if you're a good cricketer, you will be spotted and you will be picked in various other teams. The fact that there's only a handful, like we can literally count on the fingers when it comes to Sri Lankan cricketers, not getting picked in different leagues says a lot. So for them, I think the journey now is reverse of sort. You have to make that impression in the international cricket, and then start playing those franchise cricket games and stuff like that. So I think the journey is going to be that much harder for them. Having said that, there is enough talent there. So you've seen Chamika finishing those innings so beautifully. You have one in the Asranga now, getting picked in various leagues. So you will see that. It's not that it's not going to happen, but at the moment, that journey it looks a long one for Sri Lankan cricketers.
I think a great figure or a progression of figures, Harsha. We talked about all the other leagues around the world. Let's stick to ours. Let's stick to the IPL, and that tells a story. Have a look at these numbers. It tells a huge story. You don't even have to explain it. IPL season 2013. 13 Sri Lankan players. Come 2021, 0.
When I first saw this graphic, I started counting who the 13 players were from Sri Lanka. And you see how many giants they had in their team around that time. I mean, they played the 2011 final. They won 2014. They played the 2012 final. They played the 2007 final. So straight away, you look at Maila, you look at Sangakkar, you look at Malinga, you look at Murali, you look at Dilshan. Straight away, you got 5 big players in there. I don't know if Sanat Jayaswari was still playing. Was he still playing 2013? Let's go down that list. No, he wasn't. But there was Angelo Matthews, Thisara Pereira. So many of these good players. Sena Nayaka was that mystery kind of spinner. There are a lot of good players that teams wanted. And Malinga is one of the greats of the IPL. It's so many good players. Honestly, let's say, okay, I'm going out looking for something. I know that Mumbai picked Akila Dhananjaya 1 year, that Thisara Pereira has been in and around 1 year, the great Malinga has retired. But other than a Hasaranga, but Indian teams don't want to waste an overseas slot on a spinner. So who in this team do you pick? Isuru Udana played last year, but that's about it.
In fact, the very reason, and Zaheer, you were actually clamoring to have this graphic on our show for this 2014 team. It's not a coincidence that many players played the IPL. And hey, guess what? They won the T20 World Cup that year.
Exactly, and I think that shows a lot about how the Sri Lankan team has progressed. They've been doing consistently well at at the ICC events, and you've seen a similar kind of story with West Indies as well. At one, they ruled one decade, and they've had great players. It's just that there was a big slip in their rankings, how they approach their game. I think Sri Lanka is also going through a similar kind of phase. It's just about reviving that. It's just about backing the right players, and that turnaround will happen. If you look at West Indies cricket as well, just a while back, you're not getting players. Suddenly there were a few players coming in IPL, making that mark. Chris Gayle scoring those runs, Pollard making that mark. And suddenly you'll see the players coming through the ranks. So when you're looking at the Sri Lankan team, also they're pretty much there and thereabout. When you see some of the players going out there, Shanaka putting up a good show, all Wanindo Asaranga also bowling well. You've seen Avishka Fernando playing consistently well in that ODI series. So it's going to happen. It's just that it's going to take maybe a couple of years, for them to find that role model which will inspire this other youngsters as well.